how are you? Are you in Ibiza? Because I remember talking with this band a couple of months ago, explaining that maybe you in the next months move to Germany or something like that.
Yes, I'm now completely back in Germany, not in Spain anymore. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of personal reason and, working wise, I mean, it's much better to be in Germany. If I want to go back to my island, Ibiza, I can go on holiday. No, it's not a problem.
Yeah, I remember Sven explaining all these things because you are a grandpa and
Lots. Want to be closer with my family, and I think that for me it's the best move at the moment.
Mm-hmm. But I suppose you missed a little bit the island.
Yeah, a little bit, of course. Yeah, of course, I missed it. I mean, I was living there for 13 years.
Wow,
that's a long time, and yeah. So, but anyway, back in Germany.
Okay. Talking about the new album, record number 25, if I'm not discounting.
No, 27 with accept. 17 with UDO and 10 with accept.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Of course.
Yeah.
What a career, my God. I guess it's amazing even for you after all these decades.
Yes, I mean, the thing is, I still love it, and I still love to create new songs, especially now with this lineup what I have now. I mean, I have really young guys around me, like D. Dammers, 28, my son, 27, the bass player, Thielen Hudrab, is 30, and the oldest one is now Andrei Smirnov, but he's 35. I mean, come on, this is also young, So that means it's interesting to work with them, I mean, they're coming up with different ideas. I don't want to say different, but with more modern stuff. They do a lot of things different. Yeah, they're from a completely different generation that I am, I mean, I was listening to, I don't know, Uriah Heep and Jimi Hendrix, Rolling Stones, the Sweet, Deep Purple, all that stuff. But they listen to different kind of stuff, and it's just like interesting how they come up with ideas. And then in the end, it was really interesting to work with them. Okay, it was a little bit difficult during the pandemic that we couldn't be in one room. Normally we are working on songs in one room and also including the producer, but this time everything was over Skype and over FaceTime, Zoom, WhatsApp and all that stuff. That was not so easy. Also the main recording then at the studio was only allowed to have two people in one room. There was the sound engineer and always one musician, So it was a little bit difficult, but in the end, I think, I don't want to say the good thing about pandemic, but we have time enough. Of course, there was no touring going on, So that was the good thing on this side. But we are missing definitely touring, and we want to go out on tour. And So I think on the album, for me personally, I'm really happy with this new album. A lot of different kind of songs. And a lot of songs, 16. And So
you mentioned, but with this young lineup, I suppose in some way push you to try new things, to have this enthusiasm for the recordings, for the shows. I suppose it in some way push you to a next step.
Oh yeah, I mean that was also on one point was also I was working with my son together. We did all the lyrics together. It's also new, and also he came up with some melodies, and then he said, "Oh, maybe you can sing this in a different way," and I have an idea here. So, for me, it was also important to be open-minded, really open-minded this time, but always I'm not the guy to say, okay, it has to be this direction and so on and on. But this was really, very interesting also for me. And what you said, that pushed me really, that was really like fresh blood and that, this is good, and what can I say? I mean, I'm really happy about the new album. And so far, about all these interviews, it looked like the people like this album very much,
Mm-hmm.
So?
This year, you are very active releasing records. The live one from Bulgaria, the EP a couple of months ago, and now the new Game Over. It have been impossible to play live, but you don't waste your time.
No, I mean, okay, the live album of Bulgaria, that was like in 2020. We did the show in September 2020. So it was also like when the promoter came up and said, yeah, I want to do the show. You know, there was a really heavy pandemic going on in Europe. And then we said, yeah, we will see, you know. And then in the end, it was happened. And then we saw the venue, and then we said, come on, this will definitely something else on this evening. We have to record this and film this, you know, and I think that was right to do this. And I like this live album a lot. I mean, it's a real, I don't know, a really great atmosphere on this album, also on the DVD. And for us, it was a really emotional evening, you know. It was like, wow. It was nearly 3,000 people, and it was like, what? And and then the Dirkschneider and the old gang thing was more a charity thing. Stefan Kaufmann came up with his idea and said, hey, come on, you know, you're not touring, and the crew needs some money, and the band maybe need also some money. We have some stuff left. That was normally planned, the 3 songs, to put this on the We Are One album. And and then I was lucky, in a way. We have time enough. It was also nice to work after a long time also together, also not personally in the studio, of course, pandemic, but with Peter Baltus and with my old guitar player of UDO, Matthias Diet, and of Manuela, the female singer. She was already working with us on the We Are One album. And of course, my son and myself. And that was there was no pressure to do this. It was just having fun, making music, you know. And also, Stefan did then a contract with my record company, AFM, and they liked also the idea. That was very easy. So all the money goes to the members of UDO and the crew. That was, I think, a really nice thing. And and then constantly working on the Game Over album, you know. So.
In our conversation with Sven a couple of minutes ago, explained a lot of funny things about the live show in Bulgaria, about all the things around with the promoter, and the fact that you were the only band that have a live release, and even a show in 2020.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was a lot of colleagues of the business, you know, also from definitely some musicians, for example, Miller of Creator, you know. Yeah. He said, oh, I wish we can do something like that, you know. Yeah, I mean, in a way, we were lucky, and but this time we are not so lucky with touring, you know. It's like the whole Russian tour is now moved again. And now it's in 2022, in February. And we only did 2 festivals, Belgium, Alcatraz, and a show in Czech Republic. And it looked like that we had to move also the first half of our European tour also to 2022. It's so many problems, you know, it's like, wow, it's not possible to do it. Looked like I definitely let's say nearly 100% that will not happen. The only thing what will happen this year is the Metal Hammer Paradise. So far, they say we do it, you know. So and then everything goes on in 2022. Hopefully, I mean, but I think that will be happened. You know, America and Russia, that will be happening.
It seems everything happened in 2022 for all the bands.
That is maybe everybody, I think, wants to go on tour, you know. It's like, wow. But we will see. And, so I'm really looking forward to go on tour, you know. This is like, you want to present the new songs of the new album and, you know, really go on stage and play in front of people.
Mm-hmm. You answered in some way, one of my next questions, because talking about the EP, the Dirkschneider and the old gang, I think some people can be confused about if it's related with Udo or not. And you explain a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a project, you know. I mean, so I mean, of course, when these three songs, was on YouTube, everybody was like, "Oh, this is a new band. Oh, this is nearly Accept, you know, three members of Accept, and so on and on." And I mean, at the moment, it was what I said is was a charity thing, you know. And of course, the people asking, "Oh, is there completely an album coming?" So I don't want to say no, but definitely not at the moment. If we have time, if we have enough ideas, why not then we do it maybe in between some gaps, you know, and maybe making an album. But that will be still a project. You cannot go on tour with this lineup, you know. There are too many different things.
But you're open to work in the future with Peter and Stefan Kaufmann and Stefan. You're open.
Yeah, of course. I mean, no problem at all. You know, I mean, I just did one thing also for Peter. Peter's son is in some not Accept, AC/DC tribute, and then Peter was asking me, "Oh, can you maybe sing one song? My son really will be happy." Blah blah blah. I did that, you know. So you know, we are really in contact, and so. It's easy going.
And I think could be something new to explore because it's much melodic than your usual stuff.
The new album.
Than in general, your music, this project is much more melodic than your usual songs.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Peter was singing, the female woman, the singer was singing. That was really like, you know, try to do something, I don't want to say really different, but more open, without any pressure, with no stress, you know, just having fun to make the songs. And why not?
Mm-hmm. Talking about the new one, the Game Over, one thing that surprised me is that you mentioned in the beginning, 18 songs counting the bonus tracks. That's a lot of music. That's a lot. I guess you're feeling very creative this time.
Yes, and of course we had time. That was the thing, you know. And I mean, in the end, of course, it was also like the record company said, "Oh, you want to put all these songs on the album?" We said, "Yes." I mean, we like all the songs. Why not? You know, I always say, "Well, you're for money," you know. And what I hate a little bit about the record company, you know. Why they're putting out a normal CD with 13 songs and then the special edition with 16 songs, you know? For me, it's like, okay, come on, put out this CD with 16 songs and that's it, you know?
It's a crazy thing right now because for people like me who still buy physical formats, vinyl or CD, it's crazy because some bands release the vinyl with the same songs, but one different song, the CD with a bonus that is different. One song is different from the vinyl, and come on, for the fans to buy different formats, it's great. I enjoy with vinyl, with CDs. I still love CDs, but if I had to buy the two different formats, it's a lot of money for people.
Yeah, I think if you have this, let's say, limited edition with all the songs, you know, and also vinyl now is getting really popular. But what we are doing now with the Game Over album is also all the 16 songs on the vinyls, you know. So I mean, really, that was really surprised me. Also the last 3-4 years, it's getting more and more selling vinyls, you know. So it's a good thing. I mean, anyway, I like vinyls and more than CDs. So I mean, but you know, this normal CD, and I don't care what the record companies think if they hear something when I say something like this, you know. This is for me, why? The most of the people they buy anyway the limited edition, you know. Why they buy this 13 song thing? I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway.
Record companies, it's my opinion, but record companies, I think sometimes even always are thinking the same, that you're selling, and maybe it could be better just to that fans could be that usually buying records, not only different versions of the same vinyl or the same CD.
Yeah, so I mean, Okay, maybe I can understand if they're making some different colors with vinyl. Yeah, okay, collectors, they buy this, But sorry, it's not my thing,
Tell me a little bit about the recording process, where, because I guess that you change in some way with all the pandemic things, the way you work usually, sending digital files via Skype and these kind of things.
Yeah, there was a little bit, I mean, also, I'm not really like into this modern stuff, Thank God we have young people, they know. No, I know everything much better after this recording, Yeah, I mean, it was, that was like, okay, you have a conference on, for example, on Skype. And then you said, okay, now today we want to work on this song. And then, okay, we said, okay, maybe a harmony here, maybe this is too long, we have to cut it here, and this, so on and on and on. So then you have to wait for the link.
Yeah.
Then you have to listen to the link. Then the conference coming again. And then the talking start again. I mean, that was, I mean, it's not definitely my way to record an album, But in the end, I mean, I think the album, you cannot hear it. It was like doing like this, But in the end, everything was live recorded in the studio. The drums, the bass, and the guitars, and of course the vocals and the choirs. But that was also normally I'm also when we do the main recording, I'm at the studio, Definitely when the guitar players are there.
Yeah.
It's like, but that was also like, okay, there was a laptop. And then I was also watching the thing at the studio, But this is different, If you are really there face to face, this is completely different, So, but what can you do? That was the thing. And I think in the end, the result of the whole album, I think it came out very, very good. So I'm happy.
One song that I want to mention is Metal Never Dies. I guess
yes.
Very emotional song for you listening the lyrics.
Yeah, it's a little biography about myself. Yeah, and my son came up with the title and also with the chorus, for the melody, for the chorus. And then he said, hey, come on, Metal Never Dies. This kind of music, you do this for over 40 years now. And and then we was writing the lyrics, and he said, "Come on, maybe you can talk about yourself, And then the lyrics are in the beginning when I started music, I didn't have that much to say, but then the second verse starts, and then I have a lot of things to say, So it's it was interesting. I mean, for myself, if I had to write the lyrics alone, I don't think I do something like this, It's like, it's the same with marching tank, They call me in Germany, or not only in Germany, the German tank, on stage. And then also my son came up and said, hey, come on, you are the German tank. You always go forward. Let's write something about this, I said, oh, come on, again, about me. We can write a lot of different stuff. But anyway, I think in the end, why not do this, Talk about yourself, your career in a way. So can be also interesting for the people.
Mm-hmm. And talking and thinking about these lyrics and these words, Metal Never Dies, with the perspective of all your career, extensive career, do you see a good future for heavy metal, for example, in 25 years? I say it because a lot of people, I hear discussions about it, saying that, when the big ones, Maiden, Metallica, etc., the big bands, the stadium bands, finish their career, maybe heavy metal, it's not the same. And what do you think?
I don't think so. There will be, I mean, metal never dies. There will be some new stuff coming up, new bands. And of course, if we all the older bands like Judas Priest, Metallica, AC/DC, I don't know, Ozzy, and a lot of bands. Yeah, but some bands are already on the last tour for years, So sometimes this is also, I'm not really sure about this, And no, I think what I saw the last couple of years was so many young people now coming to the concerts, you know. There's a next generation for this kind of music. And I think this kind of music will not die if that Metallica, AC/DC, Iron Maiden or Judas Priest not there anymore, you know. I mean, I think it will continue. There will be maybe a little bit changing, modern style or whatever, but this, the how you say this, the ground of this music, you know, it will be definitely the same. And I think, yeah, I mean, look, I mean, songs like Ball to the Wall, it's over 30 years old of Accept, you know. It's still like, without this song, sometimes it cannot go off stage, you know. The people ask, no, please, can you play that, you know.
But that I'm sure you know about this discussion that still during the last years, lots of people are thinking, what will happen in the future when Ozzy not playing, Metallica not playing, Judas Priest is not playing? What happened with this scene?
Yeah, I mean, but I think there will be something else coming up, you know. There are a lot of good bands around. The thing is, like, in my opinion, some bands, they need more pushing from them, have to be more pushing from the record companies, you know. This is like, at the moment, in my opinion, there is something wrong in this business, you know.
This is the problem, I think.
Yeah, that's for me, you know, it's like in the old days, it was like, okay, for example, I was on tour in 89 with Ozzy Osbourne when I did the Mean Machine album, huge European tour. There was no money, you know, there was no problem from the record company to pay for as a support. Now, I mean, I know that when we asking some bands, you know, we want to have them on tour as a support or special guests, they really want to do this, but no money from the record company. Sometimes they go to the bank and get a credit, you know, and stuff like that. Or sometimes you don't have enough time to do the whole tour. I mean, the more, maybe we can go for 2 weeks, you know. They have to make holidays from the working and all that stuff. I think there is something, don't want to say, yeah, wrong. In a way, it's something wrong. In my opinion, record companies are signing too much bands, you know. It may be better to collect some stuff, you know, not, okay, maybe this band is very famous, have a special style, and then, you know, we have 4 or 5 bands in a way the same, and this one band is really popular at the moment. No, this is wrong, in my opinion, yeah, but we can talk about this as well.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I think don't change during last 40 years is the discussion about the record companies. How they act with the bands, the reactions in the changes with technology. Always is the discussion about what made or not made with the company.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I know the record companies hate me about this, but I don't care. If some bands asking me what kind of advice can you give us, then I always say, don't sign a contract with the record company. I mean, with all this modern technology, what you have, make your website, making downloads, you know, and all that stuff, and all the money goes to you and not to the record company. Maybe you have some guy who's doing all that website stuff, social media stuff, and then, you know, you have to do some stuff on YouTube is also. There's so many things are possible in these days, you know, and then all the money goes to you. You don't have, you know, and then you have more money, and then maybe the possibility to do some more touring and so on and on. This is a different story.
Of course.
Yeah.
Another one that touched me is kids and guns, and the message about increasing number of gun possession in USA.
Yeah, let's say, okay, not only USA, but in general, in the first place, is we are against weapons, you know, and also for us it's like better to talk to each other than instead of killing each other, you know. But on the other hand, of course, America, what was happened on the schools, you know, young kids are shooting around in schools. We had the same also in Europe. And also another thing is what happened in Africa, you know, they're young boys getting kidnapped and then they're making young soldiers out of them. They're maybe sometimes 15, 16 years old and killing people. For what? And this is like, in general, is against completely, against weapons.
Yeah, of course. This song that we mentioned fits perfect with album title, Game Over. Game Over, because mankind are more crazy than ever right now.
Yeah, Game Over. I mean, that came during the whole recording session. I don't know who exactly it was, but with all this different working on this album, there was some day there was I think that was D or something like that, and he said it in German words. In German is alles ist zu Ende, the normal process of doing making a record. So, and then in English it is game over. You have had a lot of game overs. It's like, you cannot do it normally. And then we said, yeah, it's a great title. That's why not using this for an album. Of course, there was then a lot of rumors and said, oh, this is maybe the last album of Udo, maybe the last tour. No, don't worry, it will be not.
Just a couple of more questions, because I suppose you have more interviews this afternoon.
Yeah, it's coming, the next one in, I think, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. Talking about other things, if you are requested to tour again with Dirkschneider playing Accept, you will consider this option?
Yeah, why not? I mean, we did 2 shows this year under Dirkschneider on the festivals. So that was normally planned in 2020. So that was like under the Metal Heart anniversary show. Mm-hmm. That was planned. So then everything was cancelled. And then now they came up, Alcatraz, and said, oh, no, we do this, and also Czech Republic. And they said, yeah, we want to have you under Dirkschneider doing the Metal Heart anniversary thing. In the beginning, I was not really, come on, why we're not doing UDO, But there was a contract, and they said, nah, it's like the people are really waiting for something. Then we said, come on, doesn't matter, we do this. But for us, it was, let's say, with these 2 shows this year, it was like, we want to go on stage. It doesn't matter what name, UDO, Dirkschneider, it doesn't matter, except on the UDO song, we just were happy to play in front of people. That was the most important thing, And I mean, of course, the people enjoy it, There was also, the audience was really hungry to see the whole thing going on, the festival, And the good thing was, we was asking after a couple of weeks, the promoters, and we said, hey, was there any infections going on? Nothing. Yeah. So, I mean, what makes me a little bit, really angry is like I'm watching football, and then I see in the stadium 40,000 people, 50,000 people, 20,000, 30,000, and then it's a problem to go on tour. Come on. That's
the exact discussion that I had a couple of days ago with some friends.
That is, I don't know, that's strange. But money rules the world.
And finally, talking about early days and Band X, do you still are in touch with Michael Wagner?
Yeah, with Michael, but he stopped working. He sell everything. Just a second. Just a second. Hello? Das ist ein bisschen früh, ich bin noch mitten im Interview mit Spanien. Können wir noch mal so in 5 Minuten oder ist noch keine halb? Ja, noch ein bisschen früher, ruhig so in 5 bis 6 Minuten, das reicht. Ja, alles klar, danke, gut, ciao. That was, but she's a little bit early, next interview. So, but what was it?
Michael Wagner.
Yeah, Michael Wagner. Yeah, but he stopped working as a producer. He retired now.
Yeah, I know. But he produced one of the big names of the best albums of all time.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing nearly everybody. I mean, the good thing is, we start making music together. So we know each other. We were 6 years old from the school, We start making music together. We creating Accept in end of 68, 69, and yet beginning of 69. But before we did some Band X or X, stuff like that. Yeah, and I mean, but then he was moving to the studio and became a very famous producer. So perfect. And for me, it was like, okay, I do the band and it works, so everything fine.
Okay. Finally, which is in your opinion, the biggest mistake that you made in your career, and as an advice for young bands?
As a young band, or
just
in general?
During your career, I suppose that you made some mistakes in the way that, I don't know, signing with a company that treat you not very well. Or,
I can tell you, it's this is the only thing I really not happy with. I was creating the name Accept. And then when we became, let's say in the 81, we have to sign a lot of documents.
Oh.
So, and sometimes you're not really looking on this, And then in the end, when they fired me off my own bands, I found a paper, all the rights goes to Wolf Hoffman. And that's a big point, bad point for me. The name is normally on me and not on Wolf Hoffman, But this is, let's say, what can I say? This was a big mistake, not really to look what you're signing, And but anyway, this is history, long time ago, and I think in the end now, in a way, I don't care, Sometimes it's like, you did a big mistake, So, but anyway, that happened in your career, and but the rest, I didn't have any problems with record companies or something like that. No, I never had really big problems. Of course, you always have a discussion going on with record companies, management, I don't know. And but this was definitely one of my biggest mistakes. Yeah, shit happens.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Udo. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
Hope to see you playing live very soon in the future.